Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
You're tuned in to Steve Megatron on Altered Geek.
Altered Geek. Get altered. Geeky. Altered Geek. From Star Wars to Star Trek, comics to tech. Altered Geek. Get altered. Get geeky. Altered Geek. Pull up a chair 'cause you're an altered geek.
Hello and welcome to Altered Geek. I'm your host Steve Megatron Phillips, and in this episode of the show, I'll be talking about some other geeky pop culture news. I've been trying to keep it busy with various things related to that, and with all the TV, the news, the movies, all of the stuff going on in the geekdom and in technology, I've just been having fun talking about this kind of stuff for a while. I will have hosts again on in the near future. I'm just trying to nail down some key features I want to use when I have hosts and key features I want to use when I don't. I'm still going to be shooting to do this show about twice a week. I'm trying to figure out the semantics of the stats and how often I should release, what days I should release. So if there's like a preferred day that everybody downloads podcasts, I'd be really interested to hear that in the description below or in the comments area. I've been kind of shooting to do like Wednesdays and Fridays. However, with how well the Wednesday release was doing last week, I pushed it to this week rather than Friday. And so this week I'll have double episodes rather than the next week, or it just kind of depends on what topics I have coming up. The other thing is if I'm going to have somebody on that's not going to be high energy or swearing a lot, I really am not into the whole having to censor and edit people anymore. So I would just prefer not record with those people. And it's not like it's terrible. It's not like it's, I have this thing against it. I just personally don't want it in my show. So I've been trying not to do that lately. And as well as if I don't have energy, I'm not recording on that day. I've just been recording on days that I have the energy built up. And the wellness of mind, I should say. Because I don't want exhausting yawns or anything else showing up. So I have been doing a lot of other stuff in regards to school, in regards to the TV stuff, in regards to just a lot of website background stuff that I'm kind of getting into and learning. There's going to be a lot of new content and new structuring with Geekcast Radio. I am going to be bringing back a lot of the old archive content. I've figured out a way to do this and not put a taxing on the server. So time will tell on that. Unfortunately, all the original comments are gone. Technically they are, but I'm not going to go through, 1,000 episodes of content and replace the MP3 link, so it's easier for me to import from where they're hosted at now than to go back and do it the other direction, which I still have the backups of everything. I'm just not wanting to go that direction. So I guess getting into it, one of the first movie things that I noticed this past week is Ridley Scott reveals a Gladiator sequel is planned. Except it's kind of wonder of how they're going to do this, because I guess they want Russell Crowe back, but his character Maximus died in the movie that came out, Oscar winner movie from 2000. So I'm kind of wondering what they're going to do. There's rumors that there was a storyline where they might have him going through the underworld or something, or whatnot. But I don't really know how they would do it. There's been I'm not really quite sure what they do. I think that when it's been that long on a film, like if it's not been like a couple years, like this has been 17 years now at this point, there's not really a point in going back. And we've seen that with like things like Die Hard and Dumb and Dumberer, and I'm hoping not Beverly Hills Cop 4 when that comes out, whenever that comes out. But again, time will tell on that. As far as Star Wars The Last Jedi, Frank Oz refuses to say if he's in it. But there's been speculation that he's been there recording stuff for it. So I'm not really sure what to think of that. I would be okay if they had some like CG Yoda moments like popping up, because it's not like there aren't other people that can do the voice of that, or do, because it's a puppet. It's not that hard to do, as opposed to having Alec Guinness coming out of the middle of nowhere. So I'm wondering how they're going to resolve this if they decide to have Obi-Wan show up instead. But I'm fine with it if they bring Yoda back. So I commented last week about Logan. There's that. It's such a great film. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Speaking of another superhero-related content, Powerless, I guess Adam West is going to guest star soon. And I'm fine with it. He's supposed to be playing, because Powerless, if you don't know, is led by Alan Tudyk, is the cousin of Bruce Wayne, like Van Wayne, which it's not a very intelligent show. But it's fun. So with that being said, it's not bad with the Easter eggs that they've been throwing in there, but it's saying that Adam West, the original Batman from the 60s, will be coming back as Dean Wayne, the chairman of Wayne Industries Board. So it's saying, following an attack on Gotham City, Wayne Industries has to make some cuts, and Mr. West visits Charm City to deliver the bad news to Van and Emily. Will the dynamic duo of Van and Emily be able to save the team at Wayne Security, or are Charm City heroes destined for the unemployment line? So it says West has already provided the voiceover for a Powerless promo, so it says that they're doing it as a fun way of bringing him back. So it's billed as a DC's first comedy, but yeah. So I mean, I'm fine with it. It would be kind of cool. I guess there's been talks that the producers already have a plan to bring Grant Gustin, the Flash, into Powerless. But yeah. So I guess they're trying to do it because maybe ratings? I'm not really sure, but it says if West cameo doesn't help the show, they think that an Arrowverse crossover could do it. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with it, but I really don't see the point. What I really want to see on TV right now is a live action Batman. That's what I want to see. I know Gotham is kind of the prelude to that, but I want to actually see a fully fledged Batman on TV and stop giving me like rehashes of things that would happen in Batman's universe for Arrow. That's what I really want to see. So EA had this special going on. I think I talked about it on last episode, but I'm not entirely sure. But about their Battlefield 1 new expansion coming out. Will be coming out this week, or has come out this week. Which is called They Shall Not Pass. It's the first of the expansion premium pass, which you can still get for $49.99 with the deluxe edition embedded in it. So I was looking through the maps because it's French maps. The new maps are Verdun Heights. The opening barrage of Battle of Verdun created massive forest fires in which players will fight for domination. It's an uphill battle towards the massive fortress of Verdun. Grinding struggle where the artillery never stops, and the Devil's Anvil continues to consume even the bravest combatants. It looks like kind of a rehash of one of the other maps, except it's all like fiery instead of not. It's still got the little bunkers like centralized all over the place. There's Soisen's map, the biggest tank assaults of World War One. The French 10th Army moves to take back Soissons using their powerful Saint Chamond tanks. Planes, tanks, and infantry clash in the beautiful French countryside in the early hours of a hot summer day. Only the thunderstorm is louder than the war. It looks pretty neat. It just looks like kind of like a city that you just get to destroy, just like everything else. And very much like the one that's on fire, it's another one with a bunker. Very much like the one that has the train in it in the current, and it's called Rupture. It says, in dire need to capture key bridges across the Eisen River, the French find themselves back into battlefields where poppies grow over a rusty wreck from previous tank battles. It might seem calm, but this maze of steel beasts provides an excellent place for those who plan an ambush. As the sun sets over Fontenoy, the battle wakes up. So, there's one other map, and I have my reservations and my predictions for this. It's called Fort Devaux. Devox, you could say. The first big engagement inside a fort during World War I takes place in the dark underworld of Fort Devaux. Down in the maze of dark galleries and wet stone corridors, French and Germans fight ferociously with grenades, guns, bayonets, and flamethrowers. Watch your corners, which means no tanks, no planes, no automobiles. Yes, I just made a planes, trains, and automobiles joke. But I'm wondering what the behemoth will be in that. Probably just a big old bomb. But the map looks very much to me like it could be another Operation Locker with the way the corridors are set up, but it also could be another Operation Metro type of map. It's got that very tunnely looking reminiscent thing to me, so I'm thinking we might have something on our hands like that, which could become a game favorite. But time will tell. I'm waiting to see what the other expansions come out with and see if there's anything that will compare with Operation Metro and Locker to me, because to me those are my two favorite maps besides Siege of Shanghai and Battlefield 4. So I'm really hoping that some of those elements make it back in this, even though it's World War One. But yeah, the French army joins the fight, and they got a new steel behemoth tank that's super heavy beast, and then they've got assault tank guns and trench raider elite class and new stationary weapons and two new operations, Devil's Anvil and Beyond the Marne. And then a plethora of other things that are involved. But yeah, that's kind of what to expect in that new setup.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
When Flo flows, she flows in the know. Mind ruminates the rates. Shown them all, I heed the call. Seeing the rest, I choose the best. Sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's not. When the fox walks, is it called a fox trot? That's a real question.
Compare Progressive direct rates with competitors' rates. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
There. And also in news is 3/21/17, Mass Effect Andromeda will be dropping on EA Access and Origin, so that looks pretty slick. Being that I will still be playing BF1 at the time, and I have all the Command & Conquer series now, I probably am going to wait to get this. And the reason I'm going to wait is because not that it's not appealing, I'm very, very, very interested in this. What's kind of drawing me to this is I don't know if I'm going to have the time to play it, and so I don't really want to purchase it for full price at this point. However, I do plan on getting it eventually, and when I do get it, I'm probably going to wait till it's on sale, maybe Black Friday, and then get it. but it's very much something that I would probably play. As I did play the other previous Mass Effect games, it's still in that wheelhouse of what I would do. So, also coming out of nice information, I was curious about a series of unfortunate events. Lemony Snicket. I did watch the movie with Jim Carrey years ago when it came out. I know that Neil Patrick Harris is playing Count Olaf instead of Jim Carrey in this Netflix show, and I know that season 1's been pretty well received. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I know that season 2 just got confirmed. So that's going to be cool for those that are fans of it. I still want to check it out. I haven't had a chance yet. But yeah, I think that this is... I guess I really love the fact that Netflix is kind of grasping at things that aren't really out there or that nobody's willing to do. But at the same time, it's kind of... Some of their content I don't care for, but I guess, it can't please everybody. And then getting into some cool tech. Oxford scientists are building robots that wear artificial skin before it's transplanted to human bodies. So it says that the line between man and machine is only getting thinner as intelligent algorithms are starting to perceive sights and sounds like human beings. Androids are taking more anthropomorphic forms, powered by actuators, wrapped silicone, and latex skins. Even these skins are becoming increasingly lifelike because earlier this year, researchers created an artificial material that's twice as sensitive as human skin. And this month, a team of Oxford professors proposed a provocative idea, growing human tissue on humanoid robots. So essentially, they're going to be doing like that movie with Robin Williams, and I don't know if it was AI. No, that was it was AI, artificial intelligence. I kept wanting to think it was something else, but yeah. Or no, it wasn't that. What was that one that Robin Williams did? He did one just like that. I guess it was kind of right. He was in AI as Dr. No, but he was in Bicentennial Man as Andrew Martin, where he was an android or a robot that eventually became fully synthetic and human by the end of the movie. So, and that was out in '99. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry if that spoils it. So yeah, that's kind of an exciting thing there to hear, because that's going to really help people out that, for instance, have been burn victims or people that are having a problem, growing skin, and they can, do this and give people a fighting chance for newer skin. But it says that in order to grow clinically relevant grafts, the researchers say bioreactors, future ones, will need to push and pull tissues in multiple directions, adapting stresses depending on where the tissue will be implanted into the body, and be able to grow tissue to scale. Basically, it's almost close enough to mimic the movement and structure of an actual human, but it's not capable of performing the job just yet. There's a lot of medical applications that a lot of this science can do, which will be nice in the near future. But again, it's something we'll just have to wait for, I guess. And this is kind of a craptastic story. Big Bang Theory prequel gets series order Jon Favreau to direct and executive produce the pilot. So it's going to be called Young Sheldon, with a straight-to-series order for the comedy that will focus on the life of the young Sheldon Cooper. I don't know, and I know a lot of people give the show a lot of crap. They're describing the comedy as Malcolm in the Middle, but with a young version of Sheldon. And it says that he's going to executive produce, and none of the original cast of Big Bang Theory are scheduled to have on-screen roles. and it'll be a single camera comedy instead of a multi-camera, unlike Big Bang Theory. I don't really know. I mean, I know I mentioned this last week, but I think I really don't like this idea. Too many shows are getting spin-offs or prequels and sequels with new cast. Why don't they just create a brand new show and graft it around those new characters rather than doing this? Like, if you're going to have a revival, like the X-Files, and it was a revival. It was short. It was a revival show. Prison Break, revival. 24, revival. And then they're still going back to, like, the next generation, basically. I don't think every show needs the Star Trek treatment when it comes to a sequel series. And I think that that's kind of holding true a little bit. Like, I understand that it's the big payoff for Chuck Lorre, since, he was dependent on 2.5 Men when it ended. Now this is, his mainstay here. A couple of my friends on Twitter, because I was like, no, please no. They were like, I guess the TMNT theme, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from '87 theme song wasn't bringing enough royalties to him. And I just couldn't help but chuckle. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of in that same boat. I really don't care to see it. And Tim Silvers even says, agreed, I'm of the same opinion about a Han Solo prequel. I just don't care. Do something new. Because I said, in terms of the Sheldon thing, do we honestly need a prequel? Make something new. And I guess that kind of applies with anything. Like, what would you guys wish that they didn't reboot or have a sequel or a prequel to, and just do something original? Because I know that it's been happening a lot lately, and we've been getting a lot of the same stuff just kind of crammed down our throat. And it's not even like the superhero fatigue necessarily, because like a little bit of that's come through too, but I kind of wonder in general if we're just getting too much of the same stuff thrown down us. I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think on that conversation there. And then of course the new Transformers The Last Night trailer drops with the girl giving her remarks about running like a girl and this like a girl, and it's like, okay, whatever. I see they're trying to get that demographic, which is fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. But like the way that they're playing this trailer, it's kind of almost pandering. But they're making this girl to be the new hero. Which I'm kind of fine with, because like the male heroes we've had for this series kind of suck, so I'm perfectly fine with it. But the funny thing is the description for the film of The Last Night. It says the key to saving our future lies buried in the secrets of the past. And I said, now just go with me on this. And I said, Transformers: The Last Night is essentially Beast Machines. Because you have two warring factions. I mean, it's almost like Machine Wars. You have, like, beasts and you have, robots. And you have, like, Unicronians. So, I mean, it's kind of weird. But it's almost like Beast Machines in that sense. And I made the comment about... Because the Last Night says the key to saving our future lies buried in the secrets of the past. Well, if Beast Machines, it was the seeds of the future lie buried in the past. So... another recycling here that probably most people aren't noticing, but one of my Beast Wars friends and Transformers friends, Chris, was saying no, and I says I took the slogans of both, and it's the same thing. And she says the quote itself and nothing more, and I'm like, yeah. I don't think that it inspires much confidence, but we'll see. So, going to go to a quick commercial break and we'll be back after this.
Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
You are a mighty fortress of supreme knowledge. Progressive Direct has not only revealed their rates, but those of their competitors. If you were any more in the know, you would be drowning in, the know.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates, because knowledge is power. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Do you want to interact with the show? Well, you can get a hold of us in the following ways. You can email us, feedback@alteredgeek.com, or you can fill out the form on the website on alteredgeek.com. You can also get on the episode post on alteredgeek.com and make your comments there. You can, of course, get a hold of us on the social media, Facebook @AlteredGeek, or on Twitter @AlteredGeek. And, of course, you can find the show on the following locations. You can get it on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, and on TuneIn, Blog Talk Radio, as well as alteredgeek.com. And now, back to the show. And we're back. So, I decided to take a little siesta the other day when I was recording, and so this is actually the next day that I'm recording, which I found to be beneficial because I gathered some more news, made another episode, watched some comments, watched some episodes of some shows, and have a nice little topic. And in the interim, I recorded an All Things Transformers, so go ahead and check that out. That's some Transformers news, including the top 15 most weird, bizarre fan theories in the franchise. Pretty fun stuff. So check that out on geekcastradio.com and alteredgeek.com and the transformersnetwork.com. I've got a lot of stuff over there. In the near future, a lot of the old GCRN retired shows will be making a comeback to the website just as soon as I get a couple of specific things worked out to where they'll be able to be re-imported and have the URL for the Blog Talk player so that we get more accurate stats on them. Which, surprisingly, they're still getting a lot of awesome hits on for having been off the air for, I don't know, some of them as much as 6 years, which is insane. Like The Beast Unleashed and Tooncast Classic. Man, 6 years ago. Time sure flies, man. Tell you, I've been doing this podcasting stuff since 2007? Late 2006, beginning of 2007. Like, it's crazy how much this has changed in that amount of time and the amount of stuff I've recorded over the years. I can't fathom it. I've been doing this over 10 years now. I don't know, it's just nuts. Funny thing is, both of my hit shows that I've created started in August of their respective years. All Things Transformers started in August of 2008. The very first Saturday of 2008. And funny enough, the very first Friday of 2013? Yeah, 2013, I created this. And unfortunately, in this instance, the original host I'd like to get Mike Powers back on here. Scheduling kind of sucks, unfortunately, because I'd like to catch up and I'd like to bring him back in on the conversation and kind of find some cool stuff to converse about, because it's been a while, so it'd be kind of like a new adventure again, diving back into it. And I've noticed in the past, 30 episodes or so, I've really gotten re-pumped back up in this show, and it's kind of awesome to be revitalized in something you created. And, of course, it wouldn't be as awesome without the feedback and without the comments and the conversation going on with you guys at home. And I honestly don't know if I would have kept going had I not had any comments. But the numbers seemed pretty good, which is surprising. It's really grown and spiked over this last 3 months. But there's always the future. I've kind of decided that I'm going to go in a little bit diversion when I hit episode 200. Not entirely sure. I'm still planning out the concept of it. I don't want to really give too much away. I know I kind of spoil this every now and again, but it's kind of... I don't really want to shoot myself in the foot, like with a lot of other ideas I come up with, and then they just never come to fruition. As soon as I get back to having 2 guest hosts back on the show, I do want to play that game that I got, where someone has to pitch a movie type thing, and I do have a game. I just haven't had any opportunity to play it because, unfortunately, you need 3 people to play, and there aren't that many people that live locally here to play the game in person, so I haven't had a chance to actually take it out of the package yet, which makes me cry. So getting into a little bit of the news, Saturday Night Live is going to have a summer primetime run on NBC with Weekend Update. So NBC's picked up the Weekend Update for a 4-week run during the show's summer hiatus, beginning Thursday, August 10th at 9 p.m. The half-hour telecast will feature Weekend Update anchors Colin Jost and Michael Che, with additional SNL cast members also set to make appearances. Because the ratings resurgence for the late-night staple, which has been ranking among the top programs of the week in adults 18 to 49, beating primetime competition with its best ratings in decades. I'm kind of in favor of that because I find that it's one of the most entertaining parts of Saturday Night Live nowadays. Not that I don't like some of the skits, but it kind of depends on the host to me whether I want to watch the episode. And then I kind of get the overview of what some of the stuff is. And if it's not anything I would per se want to watch, I usually skip to the Weekend Update and then kind of fast forward throughout. But so yeah, it's a little bit different. Movie studio profits may face more punishment in 2017, according to analysts. Which anytime somebody says "according to" or some of those big key phrases, it's usually a sign that it's not going to be good, or somebody doesn't know what they're talking about. So there's they said that last year's domestic box office increased 2.2%, and that was with adjustment for inflation. 2016 was the 4th worst year at the domestic box office since 2000. What's more, operating profits dropped by 14.6% to $4.18 billion, and Disney accounted for 60.5% of the total. 4 studios: Universal, DreamWorks, Animation, Lionsgate, Sony, and Paramount, declined more than 40%, with Sony and Paramount ending the calendar year in the red. And 2017 will be at least as difficult because there's some 30 releases, one more than 2016. We'll have budgets of more than $100 million, including 20 that are either sequels or part of ongoing meta franchises such as Marvel, DC, Star Wars. It says the problem: non-Disney blockbusters generated an average of $128 million at domestic box offices in 2016, down from $176 million in 2015 and $162 million in 2014. Overcrowding and outsized dominance of Disney very clearly significantly suppressed big-budget movie performance across the rest of the industry. Which Disney does pretty much own a lot of it. I mean, when you've got all the Marvel, the Star Wars, and the Disney library, it's kind of hard to squash anything outside of that. It says Warner Brothers will be also largely successful this year, including Disney, because of their DC films, Wonder Woman, Justice League, and King Arthur, and Dunkirk, and some of that kind of stuff. Fox has a little bit of tougher. They have Alien and War of the Planet of the Apes. I mean, they just had Logan. I mean, that was pretty awesome. I know, 3rd week in a row, and I'm talking about Logan. So Paramount will probably lose again because of the fact Transformers, just going to leave that there. If you want more, go to All Things Transformers and listen to that. Moving to another franchise, such as Power Rangers, it looks like, because it's only like at this point, it's like a week and a half before it comes out in theater, which I'm stoked for. And I probably won't see it in theater. I really do want to see it, though, just because I want to see what they do with it. I did not like the movies that this director's directed in the past, but I feel like that this could be a good go. They are having 2 cameos from original Power Rangers, and you can almost guess one of them. He's like the staple of Power Rangers at this point. I'm surprised they didn't give him a bigger role, but time will tell. There's rumor that there's going to be a mid-credit teaser for the next film featuring new Lord Zed and a Green Ranger. While it's been spoiled before by Blake Foster, Turbo's Blue Ranger, hinting that Jason David Frank was part of the Power Rangers movie, and Frank denied it. He is playing cameo role number 1, and Amy Jo Johnson is playing cameo role number 2, who recently interviewed the cast, which kind of is fitting that the 2 of them are doing it. But yeah, it's cool to see 2 of the originals. Apparently none of the other ones were asked to return from the alumni of the original. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be kind of cool to see what they do with it. Another nice little thing that I noticed and I didn't realize had happened, and I think I may have read this at one point, but I'm not entirely sure. Microsoft disabled every older version of Skype for Mac and Windows. It says by March 1st. However, I've used Skype, although I haven't logged in recently until I went to record All Things Transformers, so I'm not sure. Well, no, I did it the previous week and it let me in. Anyways, I went to go record the episode and I thought I would load stuff up early, and it would not let me log in. I had 6.2 something on there, and it's because my call recording software of Pamela does not work. It's an older version. Does not work with the new Skype, and so at one point I downgraded. But now that Microsoft has put the kibosh on that, I had to find an alternative, and the alternative that I'm using, there's 2 alternatives. There's MP3 Skype recorder, completely free, but it's kind of hard to tell what's going on in it. I do like Pamela just for the interface, but there's another one that's actually cheaper. It's about half the cost, and it's called Talk Helper, Call Recorder for Skype. And mind you, these are for Windows. Mac has more variety. So you can use this Talk Helper, and it's I think it's like $15 or something. For the first 7 days, they actually give you fully unlocked, whereas Pamela gives you 15 minutes for free per recording, which I think is kind of a crack if you're trying something out. But yeah, it's actually very much like Pamela, but it's for, it's cheaper. So I'm gonna probably buy this as soon as the trial runs out in 6 days, and I actually do kind of recommend it. It's very much like Pamela, except Pamela crashes a lot more, and I haven't had any issue with this program so far. So there is that benefit. But yeah, I was not aware or didn't care to realize that they were killing every version of Skype until this point. So Henry Cavill is again joking that Armie Hammer might be playing Green Lantern, which I would be fine with in the DC EU, but I honestly just don't really care at this point what they do. I'm just kind of... What spawned this is Cavill on Instagram put, since he came off a knee injury, he's working towards pushing hard enough to have change and he said he's got to make sure that he's bigger than Green Lantern. Wait, what? And then kind of left it at that. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to do, but I would like to see them not only have Hal Jordan, but maybe Jon Stewart as well. There was this other bit of news that dropped too about Sam Jackson revealing that he'll be in Phase 3, and in doing so, the Red Skull may be making a reappearance. So I think that would be cool, but we'll have to wait and see. It's sorry for the typing, but yeah, Sam Jackson kind of let it slip in a way, but I don't know if it's actually like him being funny or if it was actually a slip. But I could definitely see it taking that turn for Part 3 and then going into Infinity War through part of that anyway. Because Nick Fury still has a couple films left, at least, that I can think of. And then, unfortunately, the Batman, is reportedly getting a complete rewrite. I know, right? Like there isn't enough problems with this movie. So it's looking like they're going to go... they're pushing the production to 2018, and they're going to... Because the director, Matt Reeves, is still committed to Planet of the Apes, which ends in June. And they're gonna completely rewrite the script. So I'm wondering how bad something was or what's in it. But Heroic Hollywood actually had a nice draw of their 10 Batman villains who deserve a chance on the big screen. And I'm gonna go through the list and make my commentary, but they say Calendar Man, not a fan. Blockbuster, never heard of him. Firefly, I could see that. That would be a little bit different and something to mess with. But again, it's not too intellectually. It's just another almost like BBS in a sense. Lady Shiva, okay, that'd be like a League of Assassins almost. Professor Pig, pass. The Ventriloquist could be interesting. Black Mask, more interesting. Clayface would love this, actually, because this would be it would give them an excuse for the CGI and kind of give them more of a detective element to it, that he would have to figure something out and kind of do more digging to kind of get into this. Hush, another one, good choice. And then their number one is Dr. Hugo Strange, which, again, I could get behind that as well. So, I mean, I think they're all pretty solid choices. And this is another one that I have a little bit of pet peeves. Injustice 2, microtransactions detailed, level boost, premium skins, and shaders. So, like, it shows, like, Harley Quinn with multiple costume aesthetics. Same thing with, like, Robin and other characters. I'm not a fan of microtransactions. I am an idiot that took part in that in the Earth Wars Transformers game, and it's only because it was Transformers. But at the same token, I honestly hate it. That's the only game I've ever dumped anything into, and that's probably the only game I'll ever do that with. Unless they had Beast Wars Megatron and the new fighting game that's coming out for Transformers for the phone, but time will tell on that. Disney and Capcom announce the Disney Afternoon Collection. 90s, and it says it's all the old Capcom Disney games. Well, not all of them anyway. It's like Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Chip and Dale, and DuckTales. It's a $20 bundle, 8-bit Glory Days, all new modes to take advantage of. Available for PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on April 18th. I think there's a lot better stuff from the SNES they could have pulled from, honestly. But yeah, that's about gonna do it. I will do an update next week on my tech gear that I have, because I've had a chance to use it all now. So yeah, we'll have fun with that next week, because I'm hoping to have a host on. So we'll see what happens. So until next time, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.
Progressive brings you Flowetry with Flow.
When Flo flows, she flows in the know. Mind ruminates the rates. Shown them all, I heed the call. Seeing the rest, I choose the best. Sometimes it's ours, sometimes it's not. When the fox walks, is it called a fox trot? That's a real question.
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.